Dungeons & Dragons reveals 8 new subclasses featuring Baldur's Gate 3 content, Bladesingers, and more.
Baby, you got a stew going.
Today's Tabletop News Tuesday is all about one topic: the 8 new Forgotten Realms subclasses just released by D&D in their new Unearthed Arcana. We'll break down every subclass from their origins to their abilities, but first, why not hit those like and subscribe buttons to help us keep growing? And then, let's dive into some D&D news.
You guys ready?
We knew Forgotten Realms books were on the way in 2025, but today D&D dropped a big bombshell by revealing 8 new subclasses that would be appearing in the new Forgotten Realms Player's Guide, including some old classics and some Baldur's Gate 3 favorites. So let's break them all down from the origins to their abilities so you know which one you want to playtest first. First up is the College of the Moonbard, based off the lore of the Moonshae Isles, which is perhaps the most fairy tale and mythical of all the regions in the Forgotten Realms, full of unicorns and fae creatures, and was also the home to the first series of books ever written in the Forgotten Realms. The College of the Moonbard gets a huge bonus to their bardic inspirations, infusing them with the power of folktales to do stuff like letting their targets use their inspiration for extra healing, or to let the bard disengage or hide as a free action, or even force an opponent to reroll a saving throw. They also gain access to druidic cantrips and spells like Moonbeam, and it seems like a very folklore-driven and very powerful addition to the bard. The Knowledge Domain Cleric is next, and this one, which would probably have just been a Priest of Ogma in the older D&D editions, does pretty much what you would expect. You gain access to more skills, you get a lot of psychic and mental-based spells that you can use, and you can even channel divinity to cast those spells without wasting a spell slot. You even gain the limited use of telepathy. At the highest levels, you have so much knowledge that you briefly see into the future and gain advantage on your own attack rolls, so this is another pretty powerful subclass. Next are the Purple Dragon Knights, the valiant knights who uphold justice in the often overlooked land of Cormyr. Think paladins without the holy firepower. But let's not bury the lead. The whole point of this fighter subclass is that you get a dragon companion. It starts out small but grows with you as you level, until at higher levels you're riding your purple dragon into combat and unleashing its gravity breath weapon across your enemies. And honestly, what fighter doesn't want that? The Oath of the Noble Genies is a paladin subclass, which is based in the Arabian-inspired region of Kalimshan in the Forgotten Realms, and is a far more elemental-themed paladin who unleashes elemental attacks and can use their charisma as an AC bonus to represent the lithe and majestic ways of the elemental spirits. You get a variety of attacks tied to each of the 4 major elements that you can kind of mix and match as you want, plus a few new tricksy spells to represent the capricious nature of genies. You're also granted ways of resisting elemental damage and of getting a lot of extra value out of your charisma, like those AC bonuses or even more bonus damage on other abilities. So this seems like it will be a very popular build for paladins. The Winter Walker Ranger is so adapted to the brutal cold and deadly conditions of Icewind Dale, the home of Wolfgar from R.A. Salvatore's iconic Drizzt books, that you literally become an avatar of winter. Your abilities slow and freeze the enemies, applying debuffs and extra cold damage, and you grant your allies extra health with your extreme survival knowledge. And at higher levels, you literally become a creature of frost when you use your Hunter's Mark, gaining immunity to cold and emitting a deadly frost aura that damages your enemies. You also gain access to some crazy spells like Cone of Cold, so this could wind up being the most powerful ranger subclass in the entire game. Now for those Baldur's Gate 3 fans, D&D is also adding the Scion of the Three, a rogue subclass that worships the Dead Three, a cult devoted to the 3 evil dead gods that last popped up in the hit video game Baldur's Gate 3. You get resistance to damage based on which of the dead 3 gods you worship, abilities that will do more damage to badly injured foes and can even let you teleport after killing your target, and an aura of malice that not only frightens enemies, it actually damages them. At the highest levels, enemies affected by the frightened condition grant you even more combat bonuses, so this is a truly terrifying rogue subclass. Next up is the Spellfire Sorcerer. Based on the Spellfire books by Ed Greenwood, a real blast from the past right there, Spellfire Sorcerer has an almost primal connection to the weave of magic that it can release as blasts of raw radiant flame, and has the ability to absorb magic power to further enhance those flames. With a mix of fire and healing spells added to their list, and the ability to absorb spells with counterspell to add to their sorcery point pool and power their flames, they are incredibly dangerous against magic users, and at the highest levels become almost untouchable by a lot of magic and can even spin their hit dice to reduce incoming damage, or completely avoid taking damage from spells altogether. This is one of the tankiest and most dangerous sorcerer subclasses in the game, and we love seeing D&D call back to one of the classic old Forgotten Realms novels for inspiration. And last, but certainly by no means least, we have the brand new updated Bladesinger, last seen in the Tasha's Cauldron of Everything book, and made famous by the Forgotten Realms novels featuring Erlen Moonblade and Dan Losan, some of our favorite books from the old Forgotten Realms novel series. The new Bladesinger gets to use their intelligence for attack and damage rolls with their weapon while their blade song is active, and they gain access to a much wider list of weapons to choose from, and can now make a weapon attack as a bonus action in a round when their normal action was used to cast a spell at higher levels. Your Blade Song also adds your intelligence bonus to your AC, so if you want to be a frontline wizard, slashing away with your magic enhanced sword, using your spells to reduce incoming damage and gaining extra attacks like a martial class, the Bladesinger is absolutely the wizard subclass you've been waiting for. So that's our overview of all 8 new subclasses in the Unearthed Arcana playtest. We have to say that there does not seem to be a bad option in the bunch currently, but whether or not that survives after the playtest is finished and all the feedback is processed is another story. So which subclass are you most interested in bringing to the table first? Let us know your favorite down in the comments, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.